Welcome to 13.7 IBIMA 2020. Today I will present my article with title Improving Community Welfare of SMEs Through Learning Community. Learning has a strategic role in creation, acquisition, and development of organizational knowledge and encourage innovation behavior. The power of knowledge creation can be the key to achieving a sustainable competitive advantage in the face of change. This study aims to develop a model of SMEs welfare through learning interrelation process of SMEs in the entrepreneurial community. Increasing the welfare of SMEs can be improved through learning activities by seeking and sharing knowledge. Previous research has shown that collaborative learning in the community is the basis for creating new knowledge that can be used to improve the performance of SMEs through value creation. Organizational learning has a very strategic role for knowledge development, responding and adapting to change in the increasingly dynamic business environment and perhaps as extreme as during the COVID-19 outbreak. As one of the pillars of the nation economy, SMEs are expected to be able to contribute to solving economic and labor problems in Indonesia. This story shows the existence of the strength of SMEs in facing economic crisis and being the economic strength of the nation despite many obstacles in developing entrepreneurship. Research on organizational learning has been done before, both internal learning and collaborative learning. Internal learning, which refers to daily operational processes carried by trial and error, contributes to the creation and development of knowledge in the internal scope of the organization. Experience-based knowledge is the basis for the creation of tacit knowledge and is a source of organizational strength. Meanwhile, external learning is limited to certain stakeholders. For example, the government, in which the social interaction of learning tend to be assignment, directed, one-way communication so as to produce from formal organizational-based knowledge creation. The characteristic of organizational-based knowledge creation, when viewed from a ownership private limited membership, there is a compensation in the acquisition of knowledge, limited distribution and dominant of communication is using one-way and face-to-face communication. On the other hand, community-based learning carried out with other external parties in an ecosystem community has different characteristics. In terms of knowledge ownership is public property or common property, unlimited membership, unlimited knowledge distribution, and the dominance of communication is using two-way communication and tend to use online media. Several previous studies have attempted to explore collaborative learning between organizations for the creation of new knowledge, but most of the settings are carried out in large companies. Meanwhile, the culture characteristic and learning capabilities of SMEs are different from those of large companies. In this research, there are several research gaps that can be developed. First, previous research has not revealed the mechanism by which the new knowledge creation process is carried out. Second, usually collaboration and learning collaboration are formed based on agreement, formal, and mutualism. Third, collaborative learning actors only involve certain units and have not involved business ecosystem stakeholder. Fourth, the result of collaborative learning knowledge are explicit knowledge and encourage close innovation within the organization itself. Meanwhile, the strength of SMEs in the knowledge obtained based on experience. Considering the above weaknesses, this study proposed an entrepreneurship learning community concept. A number of studies that have been developed in previous research will be explored to provide solutions for SMEs on how to create new knowledge by optimizing the relationship between SMEs and stakeholders involved in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. The ELC concept will encourage formal or informal collaboration with stakeholders in the entrepreneurial ecosystem and will lead to the exchange of knowledge, which will form new knowledge to find solutions to short-term business problems. In the long term, it is hoped that the consistency of the entrepreneurship learning community will have an impact on the formation of innovation behavior from the open innovation process obtained from the entrepreneurial ecosystem, and the welfare of the SMEs community will be formed. ELC research is very important to do, considering that one of the weaknesses of SMEs is the behavior of innovation, while ELC is conceptualized to be able to increase the formation and impetus for innovation behavior by utilizing the processes and mechanisms in ELC. In the activity of seeking and sharing knowledge, it will generate new thought processes and apply new ways of working, especially by leveraging collaboration in the context of SMEs ecosystem. In the literature review, we have some issues such as organizational learning and knowledge creation. This concept of learning has its roots in social psychology, which has been widely adopted in the world of education and business. Learning is a concept that cannot be defined singly, but one widely accepted definition from constructivism states that learning is an activity process of constructing rather than acquiring knowledge. For business organization and employees, the process of creating new knowledge continuously, making the learning process faster and having more knowledge than others is the hope of the organization. In the previous studies, the term knowledge creation and learning have been understood to have several similarities, but also have different meanings. Learning does not only include the process of creating knowledge, but also include other processes such as destroying knowledge, relearning, forgetting and solving problem, resolving conflict in the learning process, and handling position of power. However, both are developed in the different discipline. Theory knowledge creation developed in discipline of knowledge management, while theory is learning developed in the discipline of education and organizational theory. COP in the context of SMEs. In the context of SMEs, learning and knowledge creation are carried out conventionally, informally, and based on intuition, trial, and error. Meanwhile, tacit knowledge is the strength of SMEs as a strategic asset. The SMEs environment, which is based on the culture and character of the informal community, demands a difference with the creation of formal knowledge that is held in modern companies. Knowledge creation by SMEs can be done on a community basis. The concept of COP, adopted from social learning theory, has an important role in learning interaction among the community members. Several previous studies have discussed knowledge creation and learning still focus on result, and there is still little research that emphasizes the process and mechanism of knowledge creation process, especially that based on the SMS community. Open innovation is the development of a classic linear innovation model that comes from the push of technology through the supply chain, changing the net-based or collaborative innovation. As a sequence, the flow of knowledge becomes more open, free, and involves collaborative partners. Communities and ecosystems are further means of observation to illustrate this open innovation. The theoretical framework offers that there are some relationship between the concept for hypothesis 1, entrepreneurship learning community affect the formation of community knowledge creation. Hypothesis 2, entrepreneurship learning community affect the occurrence of open innovation. Hypothesis 3, community knowledge creation affect formation of value creation. Hypothesis 4. Open innovation affect the formation of value creation. Hypothesis 5. Value creation affect the establishment of community welfare of SMEs. The concept of learning community as a source of competitive advantage of SME and through interaction among the community members, knowledge transfer will increase knowledge creation, open innovation, and value creation. Finally, those variables have an impact on the welfare of the SMEs ecosystem. The proposed model of this research identified the relationship among the variables in community observation. Engagement and participation of community members are significant to enable a mechanism of community learning. As the entrepreneur learning community in this paper are proposed construct, thus in the future it needs more expansion of understanding and measurement of scale. Thank you for listening my presentation.